Alright, so here we go again.
Do we want to try to take Trant?
I'm assuming, yeah, Gwen's roaming down.
Okay. So, apologize for the early start
Got
here.
it.
We're doing listen-ins as well. Hopefully you guys can hear that.
Why is Rona so tall? I think it kind of bothers me.
Alright, let's,
The model's kind of... Oh, I can run lane.
Alright, so we're going to start off here with B team because I'm intrigued by their choice. It's a very
I'll wrap around because I don't want to give her a stack.
choice. Other team has fairly standard. And I mean,
When I
starting
hit 2,
off
I can
in
walk
terms
into
of
the bush.
voice, we'll switch over every 5
I'm like
minutes.
less than 10 seconds off too.
Pending
Nice.
what it goes, and obviously I'm probably getting talked over here.
That was kind of
So
a
let's
panic shield.
that's fine.
Drafts are very interesting though. I'm a bit
Alright,
intrigued.
that's better. Now I got my B.
Now for the bands, to remind you guys, it was Ringo on B
I'm
side.
gonna try not to let her get.
A side
bush
was
control.
Fortress. I'm a little surprised that the healers were not picked up, which I find pretty interesting. Honestly, a Adagio on B side might have been pretty nice. But I don't mind these drafts. They're
Alright then.
they're different.
She has no stun for like another 10 seconds. Get some poke.
I'm probably gonna give the advantage to B side more towards the late game. Rona's been a very popular pick as of late.
Zion, do you want me to walk
Taff into the
down
Rona
to
would be
help you
nice,
take
though.
the Trent? Alright.
So we're gonna switch off here at 5 minutes.
I can't wait till I get some more
And then
freaking
once we get to 10, we're gonna do every
damage.
2.5. That's my plan.
Yeah.
Or if one
Emerald
team
does
just come down.
unholy amounts of damage items.
So very interesting here. Okay.
Praedyth is getting free stacks off me, and it shouldn't really matter too much right now. But I can't
Therm
give
got some
up too
really
many
good
more.
pressure there, or was working against some pressure. Right now, the CS advantage though is major to Cape in the lane, which I find very interesting.
If Praedyth is in bush, try to get your enhanced auto off on her.
Yep.
That'll give you some of the juicy mana and also
Everything's
good
starting
damage,
off is
and I
pretty
can
and here.
follow up with the empowered auto.
Nothing
That
too
was
big.
nice.
Let's switch over to the other chat and just listen in. I know I said 5 minutes, but
you should just play up with
When you're
me.
gonna go in.
We have a much stronger early game.
Whenever you're ready.
looks like they're going for a gank here though, so I'm a bit interested.
Samuel's early game's pretty good. Pretty spanklage
They're not
danklage.
taking the
Spanklage tank. What?
They're so timid.
Ready?
Go. Oh, no, too late. Go for Arden.
very patient timing there.
Oh shit.
Looks like they're doing
Like I said,
almost a full
spanklage
commit.
danklage.
I'll be interested to see how this
Just saying, if
B
we're
side
gonna win,
chooses
if
to
it's gonna be a war
counter
of attrition, I win.
this Samuel, so
War
this
of
will be a
what?
bit interesting.
Attrition.
You think I know these things? I don't.
That means we hit each other.
Attrition means a long drawn.
Yeah, it means we just keep hitting each other, and eventually someone's gonna rock a bell. Like, think World War I between Bangalore heroes.
Okay. When he's
World War I is pretty much the
World War I is
textbook war of attrition.
Because it was just like,
So
yeah,
right now, just straight off the bat,
in
in terms of gold, interestingly enough, the A side has the early game
Or
advantage.
we use chemical weapons that
Boy, Cape's so loud, isn't he?
insanely
Let's turn
disgusting
it down a
and
little.
kill people in horrific ways.
Yep,
Shields
but
off the face.
even that is just like, yeah, we
Oh,
can
shit.
kill them at a higher rate than they can.
You're gonna
but-
die.
Oh,
No.
Cape got good gank on the B
It's
side. I
over.
missed that while I was switching over. That
We should have known.
I have contraption.
was a really good
I'm gonna
gank
get,
there.
Down to the jungle and get some.
Starting off with the tension bow on the Gwen. I've seen that a little bit lately. I'm
Sounds
half
good.
and half on that, in all honesty.
I'm gonna get a minion candy just in case we can capitalize off of that. Even if we don't get an ace, we can push them out of lane. Walking down towards you, I'm running over though.
Except my dumb ass bought the wrong boots. I bought my tier 2 instead of just the.
So
Oh, no.
we This stuff right
Oh, I
now
didn't
is
get my-
pretty
I didn't get my,
standard. Neither team opted for the level 1.
Yo, walk down.
This
Am
is a
I
little
dead?
tricky.
I shouldn't be.
I really like how much action right now is happening, but I want to see. I don't like the positioning right now from the A side. I think
Cuff.
they need
I
to
have
be playing
shield
a
for
little
you.
more together. Now, if Alpha could use this 1 right here, that would be a kill.
Nice.
Okay.
Just disengage.
Solid
Back.
disengage. Switch
Grab
over to
the-
A side.
Let me grab the
Let's
fountain.
hear what they're doing.
I'm going up to lane.
Alright.
I'm gonna buy a fountain.
interesting
so
structure.
it can come up.
I was really hoping I could get their
Little
last
more
game.
excitement than I thought initially. Usually, most of the teams that I've been seeing
Their
have
Rona.
not been playing this early aggressive.
Can I take
so
this for
I find this
mana?
very interesting.
Yeah.
Blue blood.
So right now, one thing that's very
keep moving
noticeable
the
is
map.
there's a
I'm
major
gonna walk
CS
into this,
disadvantage
aren't
in the lane. So
Oh,
Kate's
yeah,
doing a
Aaron,
very good
I was
job at
talking
keeping
about
his
Griff
CS
being,
afloat.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wrong. It's actually the evil mercenary dude from season 13 is
So,
John.
Oh no.
What's
I
even
think
more interesting is
sound.
Dysfunction actually is
Oh,
POA
no.
players. So
Oh no.
I'll be a bit interested.
Oh no.
However,
Fix
this
up.
A side team has been playing together a lot
You
more.
gotta
I'm gonna push it.
contraption first. Be careful.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
very
I'm-
split
I'm
right
not
now,
really-
position wise. Both teams are.
Oh, no,
B
I
side's
created
getting
the wrong
together.
thing.
Let's switch over.
Oh shit.
What the hell is that thing called?
There's a flare right here. Flare right here.
Tension bow.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about tension bow.
On Gwen, it's awesome because it's stats.
It's really good early game.
And
but
Arden
it's
started off with
really
a
good
contraption
for rogue
before
person.
even a fountain. I find that very
Yo, I
interesting.
have ult if you want to come.
I'm not a big fan of that, in all honesty. I would have liked to see a
Assume
fountain.
if I say Nick or Zion, it's the same person.
I'm gonna poke a little bit.
So I find this very interesting here. Okay, stunned out of the gauntlet. Good
Tag
sleep
spike.
timing. Good chaining. Didn't quite.
My character is
though.
kind of just fidgeting back and forth in one spot.
Are you able to move now?
Yeah, I'm able to move now.
Okay, because you were doing kind of like a zigzag in the same spot.
Yeah, I was trying to
So
tap
we're gonna
out of
switch
the way.
over to A side now.
Yes, thank
Looks
you.
like they're going for a counter here.
Fucking ass.
Now, one thing I would like to see, if
Building
your
up
lane's pushed
sticks.
up like this,
Building up
don't forget
sticks.
you can
I'm really
rotate
hoping
down.
I need to go buy.
Um,
I
Right.
want to go buy.
I'm gonna turn them
Can I
down a
go
little
buy?
bit, but you
Let's
can
go buy.
rotate down
So I'll go back.
from the lane to the jungle if it's pushed up like that. So that's one thing I'd keep in mind. Right now,
I'm
Cape's
gonna
got some
take
really
you.
solid CS though, and I'm
Maybe
interested to
Atlas
see
and
how much he'll be able to
Reqiuem.
take over this game.
Hey,
With that kind of advantage, he needs to.
I had to
Oh,
take the opportunity.
Interesting. Very nice play there.
That was good.
Heads
You
up
killed
play by
one.
Bane of Dragons. I want to see them take.
You've been bamboozled. Are you sure about this?
It's
What,
worth.
what will they do?
We're fine. One of them's really low, and we just killed the other.
Okay.
Fucking jumped.
Aggressive play. I like to hear that.
I'm gonna upgrade to reflex, then come up.
I'm gonna take these 2 farms. So
Thanks, Bishop.
cool.
So far, pretty good action. I'm a little bit of positioning thing on either team. They're kind of getting caught out. I'm very interested to see how the team fights go.
I'm coming up.
Cape's
I'm coming
getting
up.
caught out himself.
Oh no, he's dead. No, he's alive, but he's near dead.
Ooh,
They're not.
bit way too aggressive there by Dysfunctional. I don't think he could have
Too
closed it.
greedy.
A little greedy on his part.
Is this heaven?
Somehow Cape stays alive. You know, diving under turrets aren't bad. However, when they have a Gwen that's pretty
Whenever you're
elusive,
ready.
it's pretty half and half. I want to see a 1
Whenever
right
you're
now from
ready,
Bane.
No. That's too late. It's too late. You
I really like the 1-2-3 deal from
I mean, it
A
was kind
side
of
here.
over when they got the flare. Like they got less second for us. I'm gonna say, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Very good communication right now. Switch over to B side again. They are
Stacks,
down by about 2.4k, so I'm interested to see how they work this back. It could get interesting if it stalls out to the late game. So if I'm B side here, I'm gonna try and stall out, not prevent the aces, and try and trade kills. That's how you stall out, really. Therm's CS is just a little bit too low right now. Cape's got near perfect. However, I would say Therm's is on track for tier 6 to 7, which is pretty normal. However, Cape CS is just perfect at this point.
Andy.
So that could play a bit of a role here. Plus, Cape's got 2 kills per that last. Very aggressive play here. A solid gauntlet. Keeping that alpha isolated out. Now, can they capitalize off of this?
Rotate back to minor.
Okay, interesting. A good stall out again. So I'll be interested down the stretch. He's got a better late game. I'm half and half. I could see it going either way. Both teams, I'm very satisfied with their drafts. I think they chose wisely. Alpha seems like a pick that they prefer to use.
I'm trying to keep
So
my
I'm interested to
warding
see how this
patterns
goes.
and try inconsistent just so they have to burn a flare to see it.
Okay. Good work on Cape, making sure to just hit the CS, but be aware that there's a potential for a gank.
Give me a second.
Heads
I'm
up
step
play
behind
there.
turret for a sec.
Alright. Rotate down.
Getting a little shots on dysfunction.
I'm good.
Once again, though, we're kind of at the 1242 mark, kind of stalling
Oh,
out
you're
here.
level 11.
I'd like to see more pressure in the lane. I think there's a lot of jungle fighting, which is fine. However, the lane objectives from the A side is pretty half and half. Very aggressive fighting here from the A side.
I tried.
A
Yeah,
good
I
attempt
tried
at
to
a
get the tag
crucible
on
there,
there.
however, didn't quite get them
Cool,
in
I was out of position.
the. He wasn't able to
I went
get
down when you went right.
Therm protected because he was outside the gauntlet.
I should
So
have pinged where I was going though.
B side talking about what they could have done better.
Bullet for you.
Very aggressive
We're good.
from the A side. They can definitely take the sentry. Good heads up play. Didn't get his ult off though on the alpha. However, he should be able to finish this.
Coming down.
They need to be very
Alright,
cautious
they
here
used,
though.
fountain.
Samuel is rotating down.
What was that? Maybe something
Alpha
good.
seems like he's lagged out there.
Yeah, I just got my broken myth.
That could be very costly. That could be the first ace of this game.
Stick sentry.
Take turret off there.
Very unfortunate on the A side, but
Sure, it's a minion
it's
wave.
it's a possibility
I can get a deep ward off.
of the DC.
I'm gonna push turret a little bit.
Sounds good.
Part of the game, though. Not a whole lot you can do there.
Oh god, I mistapped my mouse and verdict.
Do you like have all the names of the abilities memorized?
Most of them. Specifically, the guys I play the most.
I feel 80 junglers need a bit of a buff because there aren't that many strong. Or maybe it's crystal laners. Who knows? Probably the pro players.
I'd be prepared for
Interestingly enough, here,
push, but I got an
these
Aegis
sides
now,
work
so-
their way back, but not quite. They're still down
Metal
by
Jacket
about
or Atlas?
2K.
I say jacket.
However, they have gotten the first turret, which is very
I'll go
important.
jacket.
I don't like that metal jacket really from Komodo. I would have liked to
Air
see a
team boost as
crucible
fast
instead.
as possible. I'm like 150 gold off that.
So build update,
Praedyth
build's
got
very
my,
interesting. Gwen did go Starblade and Breaking Point with tension, but a little too much
Alright, I got
for
tier
my
2 boots.
taste. I would have seen something else. Perhaps a bone saw in this case. Maybe a bone saw with Breaking Point. However, I don't think I'm half and half on the Breaking Point as well, because I feel like with Breaking Point you don't have the ability. Oh, we'll pause here for a sec while a fight happens.
Holy shit.
Bane of Dragons is slept. Still looking to engage here. They are on the offensive. However, the peel and see here, as I was
Alpha
talking
still
about,
has second
they're not
life,
able
so
to
keep
finish
that in
out
mind.
because of the turret. A bit unfortunate there.
Frostburn should help with control.
Good work on B side, installing it out still, knowing to disengage.
That was a
However,
good fight,
they're
even
still
though no one
not.
died.
They are
We can
disengaging.
deal
They're getting.
damage, and I'm also getting fairly
They are
stanky.
technically ahead in
Stanky.
kills,
Stanky man.
but they're still down in gold. Namely in the lane, which is a bit of a disadvantage.
Do I want to clear that out? I can flare the bush.
So as I was saying
I'm
with
fine.
Cape here,
No, I
the
don't
breaking
wanna
point
aggro
is
Kraken.
interesting. However, with the heroes that the enemy's using, I feel like he'd have to back out a lot from the fight. So I would have wanted to see something
back
else
up the bush?
perhaps. I would have liked to see a bone saw in general. Maybe have seen a tension or a tornado trigger. I'm half and half on the build here, but breaking point. The only downside with breaking point, it got a major nerf. So if you back out of the fight, which is very possible here, then you lose your stacks.
Nope.
So that could be
I'm just kinda
costly.
stupid.
And we will try and pay attention to both of the
I'm trying to
stats
bait Kraken.
from these
Yeah, I have found
enemies.
Hunter,
Now,
not
here's
found,
down the
Crucible
stretch
and
where
Hunter.
where low tiers kind of it's very noticeable because they kind of sit here and go back and forth, and I would like to see more forcefulness at this point. I don't think A-side realizes they have the advantage, but you wanna kind of push something at this point.
I'll get my
They're kind of just stalling out and waiting for items. If I'm
I'll
A-side,
get my third.
I think they have the better early game, and I'd be a little
point ult,
cautious
and
on
then I'll
that.
get infusion.
I do like to see this level of aggression from Bane.
They're all
A
around.
good silence
camp.
from Praedyth
near
could be
Kraken.
very useful.
Clear the lane. Coming back down.
Let's turn back on the A side. I'm interested to see what they're.
Popping these.
God, I just want to fight, but I'm the later. You guys gotta do it.
If I'm A side here, I might bait the Kraken. In all honesty, I really might. I would bait the Kraken and then ult. I could see that. If not, I'm forcing a fight in the lane. However,
I'm gonna try to stun Arden out of his ult. So far, that's what's caught.
So we kind of have this back and forth bit. Neither team's quite sure what they want to do. I would start playing the Kraken roulette and start working it down. Hit it a couple of times. Do something, because this in action. Not only is it a little bit boring to watch, it's also it could be to the detriment. It's one thing that lower teams definitely struggle with,
They waited out my entire team.
and that's why they tend to have longer games. They're not quite sure, and they're not confident per se to start juggling the Kraken.
I want to still play more ranked
Yeah,
matches.
this is how every good match comes up. I mean, I don't want to force
By the
a
way,
fight because I don't think we're
If you guys
super
sit
far.
in that top bush up there, I was hoping, hey, if you guys don't get in this bush and get somewhere else.
What if we waited in there? Oh no, they're gonna come down.
No.
What if we go in here?
Wait in the
They said interesting commentary here. They're half and half about this guild battle and match.
Come in here.
None of them are infused.
But it's good practice for them, and I like to hear it because they're not sure how they want to fight this, and this is where they have to really come out. You are playing another actual team that's stalling out
You've
here.
got the tension. I mean, we can just hold him here until I get my Eve. I'll be unkillable. But
I don't want to hear the stalling out. I would
don't
like to
know what
see
I need
some sort of
next.
cracking.
So
Praedyth
Whatever you
should just
guys
go
say.
in for a stun on Rona randomly.
I'm waiting for. I don't want to cross past
Both
this.
teams are very cautious here,
Past
not
this
wanting to
puddle
do a
right
whole
there.
lot.
I'm not crossing.
Trying to wait for the other team to make a mistake. However, you can create more mistakes by being more forceful.
I want to fight, but I'm not going to start it.
Neither team wants to start the fight.
if we fight right now, we'll probably win. Like, I just want to say.
There.
Alright, not over there where they're back off here.
A little too aggressive from the A side here.
Just leave.
Alright. I don't think that trade was
You
good
can
for us.
play in the lane.
I have 45 seconds on my
There's two different ways that I think A side could play this. Or B side.
I don't know
Either
what they
team
do
could be
next.
more forceful. They do manage to potentially catch out this
I
Rona.
hate them.
Okay, back up. Back.
Oh, I was
No,
unaware.
go.
Oh.
Are we going in?
No!
Very half and half with their calls, and I think that's going to cost them.
I said
This
go
fight.
away. Back. You're gonna.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna die.
Leave.
Wait.
Oh, they get 2 kills. Therm does clean one up. A good stall on A side.
Run.
I just got so stir crazy. I can't just.
What the fuck?
I know.
Okay.
In that case, I think you got to start playing the Kraken Roulette. You got to have something happen.
I'm gonna go clear this.
What are you going for?
Force the lane, force the jungle,
I don't know
but
what to go for.
don't just wait for the other team to make a mistake.
I don't know. What do you want me to get? I just got a clockwork.
Probably aftershock. Like,
No, I would get a null wave.
yeah, that
I
would
can try and burst down one of them.
that wouldn't be bad.
But the thing is, the Ardent pulses.
The interesting commentary here is that people, say that these games last longer, and the reason because they're doing that is because neither team wants to make a mistake. So you have to have the confidence when you're playing another solid team
You're gonna be the one that starts the game,
to close it out.
and
And know when you have the advantage. It's all about figuring out when you have the advantage.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I believe A side has the advantage right now.
4 seconds.
And they should realize that, considering they just push under the crystal
I
miner.
was just thinking if you got an aftershock,
I want to see them push this lane right now. Like, I don't see the point of that. I think they're making a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, you could.
So it's very good to notice when you have
I have
sort of the
money for a Storm
advantage.
Crown, so that's what I'm getting.
Yeah. You're
Okay. Alright. Hey, Rona's up in lane. Play their bush.
Really, the problem with Arden isn't really his items, it's his ability.
Oh, don't.
They could be taking advantage here once again. It comes down to the confidence of the team surrounding their shot calling. And that's very important down the stretch here.
Okay, let's not fight in here.
Alright, kill them.
Notice how much they want to not engage.
I'm being focused, or no, I'm not. I'm about to
A
die.
good
though.
stun from Praedyth. Cape has 13 stacks. They need to be
What?
engaging
How did I
here.
die?
Oh, was not able to keep his position.
Stop fighting next to the crystal miner!
Yes! No,
Why
you
are
can't
you
fight
losing
there!
these fights? I'm telling you to not go in every time that we're going into their crystal miner. We can't go in at their crystal miner.
No, I was at half health and I dropped to nothing in like a second. I had like 800 ping. It's out of nowhere.
Just stop fighting next to the crystal.
Interesting aggressive play here from the B side. Let's switch over.
Go on her.
This could be the end of the game
I
if
have
they play this
infusion
well.
Also, when I get back up.
But it's all a matter of how much they force it.
Oh, that was close. You can get her. They're both still down.
Okay,
Maybe not.
Praedyth does have to burn a stun.
Yeah, I think you got her.
They should be
Nice.
able to finish this though. A nice ace from the B side.
Told you myself.
And that could be the game here.
I like your Samuel better than the other things I've seen.
I'm better with Crystal Lane than I am with I've just been trying to improve my weapon lane to make myself more flexible.
Makes sense. How's your Celeste?
Because
Interested to see how they
he
play
used to
this
be
here.
really
I
good,
want to
now
see them really start
he
to
has
be on the
no-
aggression now.
just there's
Especially
no
with a
way
Samuel in the
so
lane.
that's-
You should be playing aggressive at this point.
Yeah.
Very good.
let's push this turret.
Forcing. I like to see that. Praedyth's not up, so I believe that's why.
By
But
the way, you have an Alpha behind you.
Yeah, had an alpha behind me. Now he's right in front of my face.
this should be the game here. If they play this correctly.
His Alpha's not very good.
Just taking a nap.
I have Crucible.
Can they finish it off here?
Don't die.
They're very much so forcing this. Not quite able. With a little bit better team fighting, I think they could have had it
We
there.
get damage on the turret. I think we get one more hit.
If I'm A side, I am pushing this turret hard now. Let's hear how they react. Will they push these turrets? It looks that way. Good.
Two turrets.
Should be able to take these turrets. Good play.
Take two turrets, and as soon as we take the second turret, immediately back.
Had a lot more of an
Let me take.
opportunity to take turrets. Now they need to be taking the
Right, back.
crystal
Take
miner.
one back.
They should be taking the crystal sentry.
Agreed.
They're not-
Another chance at an opportunity that they're just not taking.
It was better just that.
On the when you err on the side of caution, it can
I know, because they won't
bite you in the butt.
I mean, we
Alright,
danced just
the
the
thing
same
is-
as they did.
Guys. We can't fight and force or engage where they're on their side. That's what they're waiting
We
for.
can't fight them when they're at their crystal miner.
Yeah,
As soon as they
alright,
get there, we have to disengage.
They are correct. You don't need to be fighting at your crystal miner. However, you can play the
They're not gonna
Propor,
fight us there.
and you can play the turrets,
Have one of
or
us right here.
you can
Oh, not
play
what I meant to
the
be, but
the Kraken bait.
Well, I
Two
mean,
plays,
if-
very
if
simple.
they're- if one of the
very
turrets attack
effective.
us, Red can just
Play the aggressive lane. Play,
I know,
but this
that's
jungle crap right here.
basically what
Something I
we
really don't
tried
like to see at lower tiers, but they do it a lot. Because they're too scared to make a mistake, and instead try and wait for the other team to make a mistake. It's not,
there's
especially when you have the advantage. It is important to know when you have the advantage, and if you do,
fight in lane would be very
good
for us.
staying together.
Harder to run from all
However, like I said, when you have the advantage, you need to know that and know where you can win. If you can win in the jungle, bait the Kraken. If you can win in the lane,
They
push
don't-
hard in the lane.
Scouts. That makes me depressed.
They don't really have anywhere to.
My
Forcing
son's
another fight here. B side getting aggressive. Notice how they waited. I like the timing here from the B side. They can definitely. This is their advantage. Now, did they aggress too much though? They didn't get any of the kills. Is this going to bite them in the ass? Very well could. Gwen is isolated
This
out.
is gonna turn out bad for us.
Good isolation
Okay.
from the B side, and this
Yeah,
should be
right.
the game.
Alpha Red.
Nice. That should be game.
Very well should be the game.
Alright, just rush.
Well, they're
We'll
wanting
start
to
pushing at
rush.
them
You can play
anyway.
the Kraken to play it simple.
Nice job.
Yup, that was a good fight.
But once again, on A side, as I was saying, they had the better early game in my opinion,
Yeah,
and they
I'd
kind of
much
stalled
rather
it
have
out.
you won
It
something
bit them in
like
the
Samuel.
ass. Can't let them stall it out like that. Where they and very good on B side to be able to stall out there. However, on both sides, I think they were a little too cautious on both sides. I don't like to see that. However, is this going to
Just
be the
ignore
game
him.
here?
We do
This
a
should be
ton
the
of
game.
damage.
Ooh,
We can just do that.
very aggressive play from the Alpha. Doesn't quite pull it out
So I
in the
can
end though.
recall BM.
A good match overall. I like to see that. It was very standard for their tiers. But once again, when you're
Nice.
playing other teams, you have to know when you have the advantage and not be
Your
afraid.
scoreline was good.
One thing that I noticed from Cape is that he said, "I'm the laner. You guys have to engage." The laner, that is true. However, the laner, the roamer is the one that calls the engagements. the laner and the
Yeah,
jungler can, but it
simulate
comes
game
down to
is
the roaming and their
Yeah. Once he gets,
comfortability. Comfortability. Anyhow, that's the end of this long match. Good match on both sides. Here's the screenshots.
Unmute yourself, stud.
So here's what I would say.